Behind the success of Stranger Things, every cast member carries a story far darker than the upside down. Family sacrifices, childhood trauma, industry cruelty, and life-changing battles that shaped who they became before the fame ever arrived. Millie Bobby Brown's rise on Stranger Things didn't just come from talent. It came from a family sacrifice that pushed them to the edge. Brown's parents believed in her so deeply that they sold almost everything they owned just to move to Los Angeles and give her a chance. They had so little left that they nearly slipped into bankruptcy, surviving only because her manager stepped in to help them stay afloat. It was an enormous gamble, and no one knew if it would work. But when Stranger Things exploded, that risk became the turning point of her entire life. Winona Ryder's connection to Stranger Things hides a painful history she carried long before stepping into Joyce Byers' shoes. Throughout her Hollywood career, Ryder faced anti-Semitic remarks about her appearance, including being told she didn't look right for certain roles. These comments cut even deeper because her own family history includes relatives who died in concentration camps during World War II. That legacy has always been a part of her life, and hearing those remarks inside the industry added another layer of hurt. It's a reminder that even the most iconic stars can carry quiet, generational scars behind the camera. David Harbour's rise to playing Hopper came with a private battle he'd been fighting long before Stranger Things ever existed. In his mid-20s, Harbour was institutionalized before finally receiving a bipolar disorder diagnosis that explained years of instability and confusion. Treatment helped him regain control, but he's still worried about how medication might affect his work as an actor. Despite those fears, Harbour built a steady career across film and television while openly acknowledging the challenges of living with the disorder. His story shows how a major diagnosis didn't halt his path. It became something he learned to manage while stepping into some of his biggest roles. Finn Wolfhard's early success on Stranger Things came with a moment no teenager expects to face, cutting ties with the very person meant to guide his career. As his fame grew and he moved into major films, he learned that his agent had been accused of serious misconduct. At just 14, Wolfhard made the decision to fire him immediately, stepping away from someone who held real influence over his future. It was a moment that showed how quickly child actors can be forced into adult choices, navigating dangers most fans never see behind the bright Hollywood spotlight. Winona Ryder's path to Stranger Things began long before Hollywood, and it started with something far more painful than any on-screen storyline. Before her breakout roles, Ryder was bullied in school so intensely that even landing her first major film at 13 didn't make it stop. After Beetlejuice became a hit, the bullying actually escalated, with classmates mocking her and calling her names simply because of the characters she played. While she was becoming a rising star to the world, she was still just a teenager trying to survive school hallways that never felt safe. It's a harsh reminder that fame doesn't shield anyone from real-life cruelty. Maya Hawke's journey to Stranger Things started with a challenge that shook her confidence long before she ever stepped in front of a camera. Hawke grew up struggling with dyslexia, moving from school to school while trying to find a place that understood how she learned. Reading was difficult, but she connected deeply with certain stories, especially Little Women, which later became one of her breakthrough roles. Everything shifted when she finally landed in a school that encouraged creativity, giving her the space to discover drama and performance. That turning point helped her step into acting and eventually become the Robin fans know today. Gaten Matarazzo's role as Dustin became unforgettable, but the trait fans loved the most came from something he's lived with since birth. Matarazzo was born with cleidocranial dysplasia, a genetic disorder that affects bone and teeth development. Before Stranger Things, it made auditions tough because his lisp and slow tooth growth didn't fit the roles he went for. But everything changed when the show's creators decided to weave his condition directly into Dustin's character, even explaining his missing teeth in season 1. It turned a lifelong challenge into one of the series' most authentic details, seen by millions around the world. Winona Ryder's road to Stranger Things was built on a career that almost didn't happen, not because of talent, but because of something far more crushing. Early in her journey, Ryder was told outright by casting directors that she wasn't pretty enough to succeed as an actress. During one audition, a casting director even stopped her mid-scene to deliver that harsh judgment directly to her. For a teenager dreaming of making it in Hollywood, it was a devastating moment. But instead of quitting, Ryder kept going, eventually landing roles in films that embraced her unique look and proving every doubt wrong. Matthew Modine's long road to Stranger Things included a moment of real tension on one of Hollywood's most intense film sets. While filming Full Metal Jacket, Modine and co-star Vincent D'Onofrio experienced escalating conflict as D'Onofrio sank deeper into his character. During the boot camp scenes, their on-screen friction carried over behind the camera, leading to a moment where D'Onofrio allegedly threatened him after a minor interaction with extras. Modine later admitted he felt a flash of anger strong enough that he considered striking back with his prop rifle. The two finished the film without resolving the tension, leaving a permanent mark on Modine's early career. Charlie Heaton's rise on Stranger Things came with a sudden shock that hit just as the show was preparing for one of its biggest moments. In 2017, Heaton was denied entry into the United States after authorities reportedly found a small amount of cocaine in his luggage. The incident forced him to miss the Season 2 premiere, turning what should have been a career milestone into an unexpectedly stressful moment. Heaton later emphasized that he was never charged with a crime, but the experience left him feeling exposed as fame collided with his private life. It became one of the earliest and toughest public hurdles of his career.